Hello, let me check in with The First Bad Man by Miranda July, which, so this is chapters 4 to 6, where Cheryl is got into an interesting relationship with this young woman. She's like in her 40s with premature gray hair, with, I guess, at one point, Cleggy, who is pretty kind of verbally abusive as well as physically abusive, um, says that like one of her eyes is drooping and like one side of her face basically looks like it's a 70-year-old. So she's kind of hard, kind of a lot of miles on her. Is yeah, and Clee is this what seems to be very conventionally kind of bombshellish 20-year-old who like men are always staring at. She's got large breasts. Um, Everyone wants to help her. It's like kind of classic, the goddess that everyone wants to help, who's, kind of just that kind of the flat affect 20-year-old, kind of old teen. Um, and they start into this weird relationship where Clee beats the shit out of Cheryl. Cheryl, like, kind of fights back using all her self-defense things. And it's I think as a therapist talks about, it's like it's a game that adults play, an adult gameplay thing where it's kind of a very intense kind of sexual relationship, even though the Clee says, no, I'm totally into dick and D and, really into D. Actually, and she says, like, I'm kind of a misogynist. Uh, she, like, hates, hates women, likes beating up women, likes harassing women. And yeah, has this weird relationship with Cheryl. Cheryl, who's seems to be thriving under this kind of this relationship. She's not being abused. Like she says, like my whole life I've been mugged. This is the opposite of being mugged. Um, and her globus, the what seems to be a psychosomatic thing of feeling like she's got something stuck in her throat goes away when she's like really into it. Um, yes, and her bizarre relationship with, is it Philip? I think is the name of the guy, who's like basically continually asking her for permission to do stuff with his 16-year-old girlfriend, uh, and basically says yes. She says do it. Cheryl texts him and says do it. No, talks to him and says do it, and then kind of visualizes Philip having sex with this 16-year-old, but it's her having visualizes it as her having sex with Clee and her fondling and doing stuff to her jug, basically all the kind of the kind of really kind of crass language, crass ways of that Philip's been talking about this 16-year-old, like she's got big jugs and she's, all this stuff. So it is a weirdly erotic and weirdly wrong in many ways book about wrong things, that kind of, yeah, it does have kind of the sense of this is an erotica novel, but an erotica novel for someone who's not, is kind of is atypical in the way that they express things. So yeah, that is The First Bad Man by Miranda July. I guess I'm kind of into it, which is bizarre. Um, yeah, yeah. Okay, I will leave it there. More videos later.